It's the strangest of times, it's the weirdest of times. We've never seen anything quite like it. I've been speaking to numerous singers, numerous entertainers, and now I've got one of Ireland's biggest stars in music, and has been at this stage for a number of years, touring not alone around Ireland, also the UK, the USA, etc., etc. And it all suddenly came to an end. He's released a single, we'll talk about that in a moment, but we say a very special welcome along. Nathan Carter. Nathan, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
A real pleasure, Nathan. What you doing with yourself? It all suddenly came. I mean, you were just busy all the time, and then it all suddenly stopped.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I was only chatting today to family and friends saying how days are going so quickly. You'd imagine being at home that things would drag, but to be honest, I've been keeping myself that busy between music and recording and cutting the grass 3 times a week and painting the fence and jet washing the cars and so forth. No, listen, the days are going in fast, and I'm very fortunate. I live in the country, so I'm able to get out and do a bit of exercise and chat to the sheep and the cows and so forth. So yeah. It's not too bad.
Yes. It does appear to be a little bit less sort of claustrophobic when you're in the country. You kind of got that little bit more space, and you can walk down the road and up the road and all that.
It is, and to be honest, I'm in Fermanagh, so I'm in the north. We don't have the 2 kilometre rule, whereas down south, at the minute, they're not allowed to go more than 2 kilometres from their home. So at the minute, the north is, I think it's the same as the UK in that fact. And we're allowed to still be going on a bike ride if we want, and going on a long walk if we need. So thank God for that. Right.
And it must have been a major shock. I mean, you're probably sort of getting used to it now, but it must have been a major shock when it all just suddenly stopped, when the lockdown happened.
Yeah, and to be honest, I kind of thought this is only going to be, a month or two when it first kicked off. But now, I'd be ringing John Farry, my manager, most days, and the first thing is what's now fell or what's cancelled now, during the summer, because literally nearly all the festivals have cancelled out July and August. So it looks like the music industry will be hit for the next 4 to 5 months, if not the rest of the year, without sounding like a man who's got the glass half empty. I mean, I'm really hoping that from September, October onwards, we will be back gigging. But by the look of it, I know through looking at festivals in Ireland that the summer is going to be white, which is, it's a real shame. But if it has to be done to keep us all safe and sound, then that's what has to happen.
Indeed. Indeed, and that's that is the realistic aspect of it, because like yourself, I'm hearing and seeing about all the various music events, festivals, and right throughout Ireland, right throughout the summer, there's a huge amount of festivals and a huge amount of music days and all events happening, and they're just all falling by the wayside. Yeah,
literally festivals falling every day. But whenever we are allowed back out, I'm sure it's going to be even bigger and better than what we can imagine. So
indeed,
that's the only thing I keep thinking.
Indeed,
some positive thoughts anyway.
Indeed, and as you say, it is crucially important. We are talking life and death.
Yeah, exactly, and especially I know it affects all ages, but especially our older generation. We need to make sure that we stay safe and they stay safe, and by staying in, we're helping them.
Indeed.
So that's what it's all about.
Indeed, and a lady who plays a major part and has always played a major part in your life, your grandmother, she's keeping well?
She is, yeah. She's in Liverpool, my nan, and I've seen more over the last month than I've seen in the last 10 years, because she's now got an iPad and she's FaceTiming every other hour. I get the same conversation about 3 times a day at the minute. So she's keeping good. She's managing to sit in the garden and do a bit of sunbathing with this fantastic weather we're having at the minute. So she's not too bad. But for a woman that's used to being on tour and never being in the house, it has been a bit difficult for her, for sure. She has her moments where she's ready to just go mad, But
yes.
thankfully, FaceTime is helping her.
Indeed, yes, it takes. Well, it just takes a little bit of getting used to, as you say. I mean, she's been non-stop on the road with you all the time, so it just suddenly sort of came to a dead stop very, very fast.
Yeah, I mean, our last gig was actually on a cruise around the Caribbean 6 weeks ago, over 6 weeks now, and that's the longest I've ever not gigged for since I was about 16. Normally I take a week off or 10 days at the most, and then we'll be back out. So to be off for a month and a half at this stage, and it looks like to be months and months coming up, is pretty crazy, you know.
It is, it definitely is. But listen, as I say, you haven't been idle, bar the cutting of the grass. I've been saying to a lot of people, one thing I've noticed in speaking to entertainers and singers, that the gardens will be absolutely looking fabulous, because everybody appears to be doing something in the garden.
Yeah, listen, as I say, I've cut the grass 3 times in the last couple of weeks. It's never been cut as much in its life, but it's looking great. And Ireland are going to have some spectacular gardens by the time this is over, yeah.
Indeed. But you haven't, as well as doing the grass and all the rest of it, you've been doing a spot-off songwriting together with your manager John Farry, and yourself and a few friends have released the new single that I've been playing on the radio.
Yeah, we John Farry actually rewrote a song. We'd written this song in Nashville about 3 years ago, and Father Brian Darcy came up with the idea that we should release a song with a lot of singers with the message about staying at home. So John Farry found out that this song that was written a few years ago, and rewrote the lyrics within the space of a couple of hours and sent it out to a lot of different singers. And thankfully we got back a lot of them saying they would love to come on board. So we got Johnny Logan, Tommy Fleming, Brian Kennedy, Sean Keane, and Chloe Agnew, who I've been working with in America over the last couple of years. So they all recorded their vocals at home on a phone, which I couldn't believe. I thought this was a terrible idea at the time, but
yes,
it actually turned out really well, because they couldn't get into recording studios, you know, we're not allowed to leave the house really. So yeah, they recorded their vocals on the phone, sent it to Peter Maher, who's got a studio in Tipperary, and he put the whole thing together, and turned out really well. The song has a really powerful message, and the fact that, like everybody's saying, at the minute, stay at home and stay alive. And as well as that, all the proceeds from the track is going to buy PPE for the frontline workers down south in HSE and here in the north of Ireland for the NHS. So it's a great cause, and thankfully the song is doing really well. And big thanks to yourself for playing it for the last week or so. And you know that the musicians and singers that played on it did a fantastic job. They really did.
They did. It is absolutely top class. I will have to say that you know, like yourself, I was kind of pretty shocked with the scenario of recording it on the phone. It went against everything that I ever sort of thought as regards standards of recording. But it's just truly amazing with modern technology what can be done.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, if you imagine if it was 10 years ago, we wouldn't have had a chance. But with the latest iPhones and latest phones out these days, the recorders on them are pretty good, you know. So with a few tweaks in the studio, we got them sounding very good. So I was pleasantly surprised. And if anybody hasn't heard the track, go and check it out. It sounds really good. And as I say, the proceeds are going to a great cause. And the main thing is to keep plugging the message as well. You know, stay at home and stay alive, which is very, very important right now.
Indeed, very much so. And it's, I must say, excellent song, excellent idea. Tell me this, what else are you doing? Are you doing anything else in music? Have you lifted the accordion and played some, or?
I actually haven't, no. I'm setting up a little recording studio in the house at the minute, though, well, in the garage, should I say. So I ordered a lot of equipment off online, which arrived today. So I'm in the process of trying to set that up. I wouldn't be that technically minded, though, to be honest. So I'm going to have to be doing a lot of phone calls to try and get it up and going. But I've written a few songs recently that I want to do demos for. So, and of course, I mean, I do an album a year generally, so I'm going to have to start on some of that sort of album prep that needs going. So I always keep myself busy anyway, so that'll keep me amused for the next week. Or
Yes.
two, anyway, should we say.
Indeed, indeed. Now, the last album, what the next album, will it have any particular theme or any ideas on what's going to happen? Because the last one was Irish Heartland.
It was. I mean, that was kind of a concept album in the fact that I've always wanted to record a folk album. And I recorded with the great Finbar Fiore. And the last single was a song recorded with the High Kings, who are a fantastic band, obviously, throughout Ireland and the UK are very, very popular. And that was a song I co-wrote called May the Road Rise.
Yes.
But for this next album, I'm kind of hoping to get back to the country stuff and some more originals that I've kind of had written for a while and that have been in the can. So I've got a good few things written that I need to hopefully get people hearing and see what they think.
Indeed, yeah. The last album was indeed very, very well received. It was a different style, as you say. It was more along the lines of sort of folk, but I mean, not going a million miles away from country. But it did sound good, and the single "May the Road Rise to Meet You" with the High Kings was hugely successful.
It was. We actually done a video up in Donegal at the bottom of Slieve League and the top of Slieve League. We climbed it for hours upon end, but the video itself has nearly three quarters of a million views online. So we're delighted with the response, and it wasn't a hit as we talk about hits these days, but I think it's a song that hopefully will be around for a long time. And once we start gigging again, we're going to be finishing the show with it, as it's one of them songs,
yes,
which kind of ties in at the minute. The lyrics of it is very poignant.
Indeed.
If you actually listen to the lyrics, you think it's kind of written for the times that we're in. We hope to meet again before too long, being the last line,
Indeed.
So yeah, I mean, it was good fun, that album. I'm really very proud of it. Some of the versions of some of the great Irish folk songs that have been written and done thousands of times, but I hopefully did the songs justice. Songs like The Mountains of Mourne, Nancy Spain, The Rare Old Times, Grace, some of my favourites, and hopefully a lot of other people's favourites as well.
Indeed, yes, indeed, excellent. And I will have to say that the scenery of the video is absolutely breathtaking. Yeah,
well, they do say that Donegal is one of the prettiest counties in Ireland, and I have to agree. I had the pleasure of living there for 4 years, and it really is a spectacular place, and that video definitely does it justice. If you've never been to Donegal, check out that video. There's some scenery in it for sure.
Indeed. Nathan, listen, it's lovely to catch up with you. I wish you all the very best. Stay safe, and good luck with all your work building the studio and the preparation with the album and everything else you do, and you're generally keeping a busy lad. Well,
listen, thanks for having me on, and I will keep busy in the studio. I don't know if you'd call it a studio, by the way. It's a laptop and a mic. That's about the height of it. But anyway, I'm hopefully I'll have some new music from it anyway in the coming months. But thanks for having me on. And listen, Gerry, stay safe. And to everybody out there, listen, please God, we'll meet again before too long. And stay at home and stay alive. That's the message.